This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now you want to know how to download an image, save it and display it with the img tag, right? Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Now go to Google. When you're searching for an image, always search for free images, because you can open any website, you can download an image, but those images may be copyrighted, right? So you're not supposed to use it in other websites. So go to Google. Now let's say free image for let's say I'll say furniture shop. Right, so go to images, right? So you can Google will display the stock photos which can be used even for let's say business websites, right? Select an image you want to download, then see here it says licensable. Okay, fine. Now you click on an image you like and you want to download. Now for example, I click this image. Right, now when you move the mouse pointer, you see in the bottom left corner you'll have the size of the image being displayed, 800 into 450. So let's say if you feel that the image is too big, so you can go and select a smaller one, right? So now I'll let me download this image. Okay, I'll browse through some more. Okay, now let's say, okay, select this and then right click. Okay, so keep your mouse pointer on the image, right click. Okay, now you say save image as. Now where I want, I go to the desktop. Okay, I have, let's say, folder called as outline, right? Okay, assume that, let's say, when you're creating a website, now for example, let's say I assume that I'm creating a new website. So first create a folder for your website. So I say my new website, and under that folder, so whenever you have any create any HTML pages, save all those let's say HTML pages under that folder. And now I want to store the images, so what you can do is create a folder for images and store all your images in the images folder, right? So if you see, if in a single folder, if you have all the HTML files and all the images and the CSS, it will look very crumpled and you will find it very difficult to locate. So organize it. Now under my, let's say, new website, I've created a folder called as images. Select the image, give a meaningful name to the image. So what it is about so far, right? So far design. So it says JPEG image. Okay, so some images may be PNG files, JPEG. So it doesn't matter, don't bother about the extension. You will be able to display all these image formats using your IMG tag. Now I have saved it with a name, so far design. Right? Okay. Right, now you see, I'll open that images folder. Okay, my new website, go to that. Here you have your image. Now all I need to do is create a HTML file and display it in the HTML file. Okay, for that also I'll show you. So basically, what is my folder? My working folder now under desktop, I have this my new website. Right, now what I do is I open Notepad. right? Now I create a web page. Let's say save as. Okay, now I go to the desktop. This is my website, my new website. Okay, go to all files. Now let's say you're designing a home page. Now I say home.html, right? Right. Now I create my web page now. So I'll put a heading, then I use this img source is equal to. Now I need to give an image, but let's say if you observe it, I have stored my HTML under my new website, right? The image I want to display is under my new website in a subfolder called as images. Okay, now open the subfolder. Okay, select the image, go to properties, copy the image name. So the extension will be JPG. See here, type of file, Windows displays you the JPG. So the name of the image you have to give should be so far designed, what I have copied. Extension must be .jpg, right? Okay, now where exactly is this present? Okay, so if the image is present in the same folder, I don't have to give any directory reference, but since it is in a subfolder, I need to say slash images slash so far design dot jpg, right? Now let me open this web page in the browser. Okay, images. Okay, I don't do. Oh, I shouldn't do the slash images. Now you see the image is stored in the folder has been displayed. Is it clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now you wouldn't have any difficulty in searching for images, right? So you can go to Google, search for free images. You can give the category. Now, if you want, let's say, to search for a, let's say, an image for a furniture shop or for a restaurant, okay, or for any particular theme, you can give that and select free images in Google, download an image, save it in a folder, in a proper folder, organize everything under the images folder, then you will be able to use that image, right? Okay, now and one more thing. So in real time when you're working, you need to create under your website a folder called as CSS, and you're supposed to store all your CSS files under that folder. Now, for example, I can have one particular CSS file for my entire web page that is containing all the general styling, and for some specific pages, okay, let's say I may have to specify some additional attributes. I may have another 2 or 3 CSS files I might have. So all the CSS files must be organized under the CSS folder. This is how these are the standards that are being followed. So if you follow this folder structure, it will be easier for you to locate all your resources. Now, for example, let's say when you want to display some videos or audios, We'll be learning all that now. So for that also you can create a subfolder called as media, and in that subfolder media you can let's say put all your videos and audio files. Okay, fine. So let's stop. Okay, have you people tried this tables, working on tables? Have you understood how to create a table? Come on, give me a reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now let's say I want to create a table. Tell me. Okay, now I'll show you a sample table. Let us create that sample HTML table. Okay, fine. I'll just go to the images. Okay, let me. Okay, let me take this simple one, HTML5 table. Okay, so how many rows and columns are there in the table? How many rows are there? Tell me. How many rows? The first
5.
one is the heading. Huh? 5. That is the first one is the heading. You can just skip it. And then apart from the heading, there are 4 rows. And how many columns are there?
4 columns.
4 columns. So let us create this table. Okay, shall we do it? Okay. Now I'll go to this HTML page. Okay, my website, my new website. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll open this file we have already created, and then I'll save it under a different name. Okay, now I have 2 files. Fine. Okay, now instead of home page I say table. I'll remove the img tag and everything. Okay, first tell me how to create the table. What is the first thing you do if you have to create a table? The very first thing, tag. What is it? Tell me.
Table.
Table. Okay, fine. So you need to close it. So all your table content must be specified within this table tag. Okay, fine. Then after table,
TR.
TR immediately. What we learned in the last class. So look at this slide and then tell me after table what tag should come. Okay, you have a header section, you have a body section, and you have a optional footer section also in a table, right? In the table we are planning to create, there is no footer, so you can skip the footer, but the table has a heading and it has a body content. So what should be the first tag following the table? What I should write here? Tell me. What should come here? T head, right? Then TR. Fine. Okay. So, and the first I need to give the heading row. So look at this. In the heading, let's say how many columns are there? 4 columns. So my heading row, let's say, has 4 columns. So then how many TR I have given to have a table row? Then how do I specify this contents? Number, full name, position, salary. For that, what I need to do to specify the table data? What tag? What I should give within TR?
TH.
TH for table heading. So what goes inside this TH? NO, number, right? Right, then. Like this, I need to give totally 4 TH tags since I have 4 columns. So instead of typing it, I just copy and paste. Then tell me what goes into the second TH. What should come?
Full name.
Full name, position, salary. So I say full name. Then for the third column heading is position. So this completes my table heading, right? Then followed by after closing the T head, what I need to give? What tag should come? If you have any doubts, you look at the slide and tell me. After closing the T head, what should come?
T body.
What? T body. Okay. Then inside this TR, right? Then inside TR, what I should give?
TD.
TD. TD stands for what? Table data. TR stands for table row. Okay, in this TD, what I need to give? So I have constructed the table heading. Now I'm going to construct the first row. Okay, so in the TD, what should come? What should come here?
1.
1. One. Okay. Then in the second TD, Bill Gates, right? Founder Microsoft, $1,000. Okay, so I've done with the first row. Then how many more rows I need to create now? I've created the heading row and then I created the first row. Then how many more rows are left out?
3 more, ma'am.
3 more rows. So what I do is I create those 3 rows now. So for the second row, what is the content? 2 Steve Jobs. $1,200. right? Then I have 2 more rows left out. So this will be 3 landing page for the Google. Okay, let us look at fine. So I've got all the content, okay, but now what I need to do? I need to do the formatting, right? Okay, fine. Then what formatting I need to add first? First I need to add a border to the table, right? So I come to the style tag. Tell me first I need to give table I can say fine. Then how do I give the border? So TD TH. Fine. Now give the property here. Fine. Then okay, let me remove this. I'll just give it for the first row. Okay. Border collapse, and let me add some margins, right? Margins and padding. Okay, for the table. $20 pixel. So instead of being displayed on the edge, okay, there is some spacing you can see, no, between the top and the let's say left side of the browser window. Okay, then I add some padding. Padding, I give it here. Padding, I say 20 pixel. Right? Instead of 20, I give 10. Fine. right? Now this looks like your table, and then I need to align the headings, right? Now see, if I say 20 pixel padding, right? Look at the table. Now you see your heading is not aligned to the content, right? So what I need to do is, for the first row, that is the table heading, I need to style it. So what I need to do, I need to make the text alignment as left. Okay, so what I do here is TRTH. So if I just give, let's say, TD, I cannot give TD here, because if I align the heading, everything will be perfect here. So I say text align left. Sorry, here I've given semicolon. That is the problem. Now you see, now your heading is aligned properly with your content, right? Fine. So this is how it, and if you want to give a background color to your table, you can give it here. And for the heading, I want to give a different color. Okay, let me do it. Reload. Right. Okay, now for the table heading, I want to give a different background. So how do I give? Tell me. So what should be the selector? See, for the first row, okay, that is your table heading. I want to give a different background color. How do I give? I can't give TR because TR is present both in the heading as well as in the body. So what I need to give is, okay, TRTH. Text align left, here itself I can give. Right? Okay. So right now. And all the font settings, everything you can give. Write down this. Scroll down. Okay, here I have given TD comma TH, but here I have just given TRTH. Tell me what is the difference between these two? What is the difference? Here I am combining these two selectors to give the same style. Now here I want to style the TH within TR. So this is the outer selector and this is the inner selector. Over. Okay, we'll go to the next topic. So now what I want to do is when you move the mouse pointer over a row, I want to change the background color of the row, right? So I just add this style sheet. Refresh. See, when I move the mouse pointer over a row, you see I am changing it. The background color has been changed to yellow. So all you need to do is tbody tr::hover. That is the mouse over. Okay, just copy down this style. Over. Now, what I want to do is, let's say, last example we have seen, you give a different background color to the heading and a different background color to all the table rows. Now what I want is, I want the alternate rows to be shaded in different colors, right? So for this purpose, what you need to do is, you need to use a property. So the property is tr nth child even. So this will select all the even numbered rows in the table. That is the rows within the T body. Then tr nth child odd will select all the odd numbered rows. So within this selector, you can specify the different backgrounds for these two, and what it will do is, it will let's say color the table alternate rows in different colors. So that is what I've done here. So table heading, the different background color is given. For the rows, alternate. So for the first row, that is, it is displayed in light gray. Second one, dark gray, and so on. So how this is done is, table tr background color. Okay, this is tr nth child even. Okay, tr nth child odd. So this is how I've given. So the alternate rows will be shaded differently, right? So write down these two properties. Over. Fine. Okay. Now, then you have an attribute called as a row span and column span. Okay, now what I've done is, I've created a timetable using this, let's say this table, a table tag. And now when you look at, let's say, Tuesday, for the first 2 hours, the subject is the same, chemistry. So what I've done is, instead of creating two different columns and giving the same thing, I merged these two. Okay, so this is called as a, so this one column is spanning into the next column also. So this is called as a, column span. Okay, so one column is occupying the space that is reserved for two different columns. That is called as a column span. Now here, if you look at this okay, column. Now the content I have given in here is occupying two different rows. So it is occupying the third column in the current row, as well as the third column in the next row. So this is called as a row span, right? So let us see how to let's say give this row and column span. So now if you look at the first row, there is now, let's say it is just a normal row, we'll leave it. Come to the second row. Okay, the first and the second column is going to have the same content. So what I've done is, I've given col span is equal to 2. That means the content I give in this column, for this column, should occupy two different columns. Okay, now normally let's say there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So when you give the tr, let's say you'll be having 5 td tags, right, for the 5 different columns. Now here, since the second column is occupying the same content for the next column also, and it's enough if you give the content for the third and the fourth column, because the first column only is going to occupy the second column also, right? Now if you compare the td tags for this row, other rows will be having how much? Let's say 5 td tags, this will be having only 4. Okay, now let us come to the row, and next I have the Wednesday. This is a normal row. Then Thursday and Friday we'll see. So for the Thursday and Friday, okay. So here I have given Thursday biology, chemistry. I have given row span is equal to 2. Okay, so where I have given with the TD, that means the content I give here, okay, max should occupy the similar content in the next row also. So for the third column in the next row also, the same content is going to occupy. So here I have given row span, and when I give row span, when I give the content for the fourth column here, when you come to the last column, it is enough if I specify the content for the 4 columns, because the previous one is only going to span here. So here if you see the TD, there will be only 4 TDs. Clear? Right now. So has everyone understood what is row span and what is col span? Have you people understood? Or if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now, instead of saying row call span is equal to 2, when I say call span is equal to 3, it will occupy 3 columns. So here is similarly, when I say row span is equal to 3, if I say here, it will occupy 3 rows. Right? Right now. And one more thing, if you notice the difference between this example and the previous example, this table is being displayed in the exact center of the web page. So to do this is very simple. There are different ways to do it. Now what I have done is, for the table, I've given this property width 50%. So when I say width 50%, it's going to occupy 50% of the width in the browser window. So, and the remaining width, automatically it will divide the space equally between the left and the right margin. And for the table, you can have something called as a caption. That is the table heading. So immediately after giving the table, you can say you give the caption, right? This is another way of, okay, center margin left auto, right auto. Okay, right now. So when you give the table width as 50% and margin as, center auto and the margin right auto, automatically the table will be centered. Over. Okay, we'll go to the next example. Now, when you look at this table, right, I have styled it with CSS. Okay, so now you see, when you look at the table here, you see the table corner. I've added a border radius here, and I've also applied a border shadow. Okay, now I have not, let's say, displayed the vertical lines here. So in corporate web, let's say when you go to corporate websites, when they're displaying any report, normally they won't give this vertical line. So I have not given this vertical line. Now what I've just done is I've just added a horizontal line here. If you look at it carefully, you can make out. Then for the alternate rows, I've shaded with different colors. Then I have highlighted this particular row. Right. So to highlight what I have done, I'm displaying it in the same color as that of the, let's say, the heading. Then to end the table. So since there are no, okay, the horizontal, what I've done is the horizontal line I'm displaying. So how do I do this? I've just added the bottom border to the last row, and the color I made it as the same as the background color for the header. Right? So this is how I've done using CSS. Right? So this table looks way better than the other tables we have seen till now. Now let's look at how to get this effect. So first, let's say, okay, I've given the name to the table. Let's say table class content table. Okay, right. Then see how I've styled it. Border collapse. Then margin 25 pixels and 0. Font size. Minimum width you can specify for the table. Okay, and if it is not able to fit into this 350 pixels, automatically it will expand. So I've given the font family, border radius. Okay, I've given 10 pixel and 10 pixel and 0 0 because I want to give the border radius only for the top, let's say left and the top right corner. So I'm not going to display the border on all the four sides. Okay, so I've given the border radius just for this thing. Then box shadow. Right, we have already seen, right, how to give the shadow. Horizontal offset, vertical offset. Okay, then the spread and then the color. So I've given the 15% opacity. Now you can very mildly, I've given the effect. Okay, so and I've not used even the, I'm using only the black color, but I've reduced the opacity to 0.15, that is 15%. So you're able to see it very mildly, right? Okay, so that is how the table I've styled. Then the table header, I've picked up, selected a particular shade of green, and I've applied it as a background color for the table heading. Right, text align, and then I want to make the text color as white because this is a dark green. If you display the heading in the, let's say, the black color, it will not be visible properly. So I've set the foreground color as white for the heading row. Text align, I've given left to align the head column headings properly with the table data. Okay, fine. Then table cells. Okay, then TH and TD, I've given the padding 12 pixels and 15 pixels. Okay, to space it out around the corner. Right. Then table rows. So table body. Okay, so then even numbered rows are given a different background color. Okay, and I want to add a border, a small border to the last row in the table. So how do I select the last row? This is how you select. Table T body TR last of type will select the last row. For this I've given, I'm not given all the four borders. Border bottom solid, and then I've given the same color as a background color for the first row. So you just see a small line over here with the same color, green color. Okay, then active row. So how I made this active row? Okay, font weight bold. Active row is this one. Okay, so and the font weight bold and the color I've given the same color as this green. So to make the I've selected the second row as the active row and I've defined the style as the class, right? And I've applied it to the body. So whichever row you apply, that formatting will be applied for that row. Clear? So this is how your border shadows and all should look. It should not be, let's say, too black and gaudy. So it should be very, very, subtle, and it should be look neat. Okay. So if I increase the opacity to 35%, it look very ugly, right? Right down. Scroll down. Over. Okay. Okay. Fine. So till now in HTML we have seen, okay, what are the tags we have seen? Formatting tags, okay, then how to div tags we have discussed, image tag, table tag, right, list, unordered list and everything. Then now there are a group of tag, they are called as phrase tags. Okay, the phrase tags have some special meaning to the HTML parser. We have also already discussed some phrase tags like em, strong, etc. Then the other phrase tags you have are code. That is, the code phrase tag indicates that the content within that tag indicates a programming language code. For example, let's say when I want to display some PHP code or Java code in a HTML page, I can put it in this code tag. Okay, then DFN, there is a definition, keyboard, etc. Right? So, okay, then we have seen how to give the comments in HTML and how to give the comments in CSS. Okay, fine. So now let's look at the phrase tags. Okay, now you have this ABB, that is for abbreviation. That is a phrase tag when you display this abbreviation. So here I have given TCP. That is a title I have given as Transmission Control Protocol. Okay, the attribute I have given. You move the mouse pointer over this. it will display the title. Okay, so you keep it here. If you will see this, the transmission control protocol, that is what I have given in the title. Then DFN. So DFN stands for the definition. Okay, now I want to give, let's say HTML is a markup language, so I want to give a different styling. I can use this DFN. Okay, so all this definition and all this will be used in JavaScript to add, let's say, some behavior. Okay, then block code. Okay, so the block code, let's say you want to specify some codes or some text from another website. We use this block code. Okay, fine. Then cite, that is the citation. Steve Jobs, right? Then okay, Markane. So if you want the text to be quoted, now here you see, if I include it within this okay queue, automatically it will add the quotations for this. And then the code tag is for programming language code. Okay, then control, that is a keyboard, KBD, right? It will display it in a different font. Clear? Right. Over. Yes. Yes.
விட்டுரு அகில் போகட்டும் நிக்க மாட்டான் கிளைமேட்டுக்கு யாருக்கும் செட் ஆகலையா என்னக்கா WICH
Can you turn off the mic, please?
WICH which 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 தான் WITCH which
Okay. Now we look at the doc type declaration. This should be the first, okay, sentence in the HTML5 website. Doc type. So this means, okay, the document declaration. So you're declaring that it is, when you say doc type HTML, it is the browser understands that it is a HTML5 web page. And then character encoding. So in the HTML head tag, you can give title, style, script for writing JavaScript code, style anyway you know, then the link to link an external style sheet, meta, and then base. Next, let us see how to display a video and then an audio in a HTML page. Now, when you look at this, I'm displaying a video. I've downloaded this video and I'm displaying it here with all the controls, right? So the supported formats are MP4, WebM, and OGG. Fine, you can even use all these controls, okay, which you find it in a media player. Okay, then playback speed. I can increase or decrease the speed. So you can have full control over this. So it will be displayed. For this, we'll be using this video tab. So video, okay, you can give the width and height for the video. When you give this control specification, you'll get all the controls. That is, you can, let's say, control the speed and everything. Then source src is equal to, okay, type is video MP4. Now, you can, let's say, in case a browser is not supporting this MP4 format, you can add a video in an OGG format and then specify it below this video. So if the browser is not able to play, it will display this text. The browser does not support the video tag. Since the Chrome is capable of displaying the video, we have seen the video, right? Right. If you don't specify these controls, you don't have the control buttons displayed in the HTML page. Over. Next we'll see. Then you have this video autoplay. This autoplay property is not supported by Chrome. You need to give autoplay muted. So what will happen is, as soon as you open it in the browser, it will automatically start playing the video. And if you set it as autoplay, you won't have any controls displayed, or you can't control the, let's say, the speed and other stuff. Right? So remember, if you have Firefox or other browser, you can just try this autoplay. But Chrome supports only autoplay muted. It does not support autoplay. Right? Over. Next, we'll see how to, let's say, display an audio. So you have this audio controls tab, and then you can give the source. You can specify MPEG. Okay. So here the supported formats are MP3, OGG, and let's say this and wave for the audio. Okay. Now we'll run this and see. Like in the Windows Media Player, you'll get a control. So you can advance it. Duration will be displayed here. So whenever you want, you can stop. Whenever you like, you can play. Right? Okay, right. Over. Okay. Then next, let's say we'll be coming to the very important topic in HTML5. Okay, now we'll be discussing how to design a web page, okay, by adding a heading, a navigation bar, the logo, images, and then the text, right? And how to format everything, how to use, let's say, downloadable fonts, Google fonts, all that we'll be discussing. So before you start designing the web page, you need to clearly understand the CSS positioning property. Okay, now for example, let's say you have okay, 3 images or 3 text blocks. So you want to place the text block, okay, within a box. You want to place it in the top left corner or the bottom right corner. Okay, so how to do all that? First you need to understand it. Okay, then there is something called as an absolute positioning and the relative positioning. Absolute positioning means, let's say I want some, let's say I have a button in a web page, I want to keep it at the bottom right corner of a web page. So that is absolutely how to place it, and how to place an element in relation to the other. Okay, let's say I have a text, I have a box, and I want to keep the text in the center of the box with respect to the box where it is contained. I want to place it. Okay, how to do all that? Then how to fix it, a fixed element, and then sticky. What I mean by sticky is, let's say you display a page heading and a company logo, and you don't know, and you want that to be displayed even if you scroll down the web page. Let's say your web page spans to 3-4 pages. You want the heading and the logo to be always displayed even when you scroll. Then I can let's say position it as a sticky element. Okay, first you need to understand the CSS positioning, then only you will be able to design a web page. Okay, fine. Now you have something called as a positioning context. Let's say I have a box, right, and I assume that I don't have any other element in the web page, only this box. So I can say place it, okay, from the top, keep it at a distance of, let's say, the 20 pixel. From the left, okay, what should be your top margin, left margin, bottom, and right? Okay, since I don't have any other element, I have just the web page. So the positioning context is your something called as a viewport or your browser window. Now let's suppose, let's say I have 2 elements. I can place one element with respect to the space in the browser window or in relation to the another element. Keep the second text block 3 centimeters away from the 10 pixels away from the first text block. So we'll be looking at how to design, how to let's say do the placement. Then we'll come to the HTML5 layout elements. So what do I mean by layout elements? Now whenever you design a web page, you look at let's say any website. So most of the websites will be having a header where they have the company name and then the logo, and below that you can be having a navigational bar with the links as home, about us, okay, I mean contact us, products, services, like that. Okay, then you let's say will be having this aside, a small bar at the let's say right corner. In news websites you will be having the advertisements playing in this aside area. Then let's say you will be having this article. Now you let's say you will assume that you're creating a blog. So you'll be, so that is called as an article. So you're writing about a particular topic, let's say about CSS. Then the article will be having different sections. So you have the article tag, you have the section tag, and then finally a footer tag. So previously how they used to design this sections and article is that they'll be using the div and they'll be placing the container. Now HTML5 gives you explicit tags to do all these things very easily, so that anyone who views the web page will be able to clearly understand, okay, this is the navigation bar, this is the header content, this is the article content, and like that. Okay, so we look at all that, let's say in the tomorrow. And now tell me what all we have learned today. What you have learned today, tell me. Come on. You have not learned anything today, is it? What all we have discussed today?
How to create tables.
Yes. Creating tables. Then
Adding audios and videos.
in a table, that's all. Tables, what all you have learned? You have learned how to create a table, then how to align text, right? How to style borders in a table, right? Background color, right? Then row span and col span. Then we have learned phrase tags. Then how to display audio and video in a web page. So tomorrow we'll start with CSS positioning, and then we'll move on to creating web page. We'll say look at how to create a web page. Let's say by just using the text content, and then by adding images. What we'll do is, let's say we learn all these tags, then we'll download a picture from the Google, and then we'll create a website with a downloaded images and logos, right? Okay, fine. So go through everything we have discussed today. In case you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow. Okay, fine. Bye. Good night. Have a nice sleep.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.